Hello and welcome to Talking Music, where every song has a story. My name's Paul, and on this channel we like to get behind the music with facts and information, secrets and stories of well-known songs. And today's song we're featuring is this from Ed Sheeran and Perfect. And the one thing we all know straight away about Perfect is that it is the song that Ed Sheeran is most proud of. He said it many times in interviews, it's the best song he's ever written. And there's no doubting the quality of the song, but I wonder if he's so adamant about it being his best song because the inspiration for it came about through Cherry Seaborn, at the time his girlfriend and his wife-to-be. They had been at school together and had reconnected, and as Ed himself has said, he writes music as an extension of himself.
Other people have different ways of letting off steam. You know, alcohol's a big way to let off steam. You know, Friday night you finish work, you go to the pub, you have a pint, and then you go home. Or some people go to the gym, some people do taekwondo, some people go skydiving. Mine is writing songs, and that's my way of getting out anger, aggression, happiness, love. I've only written songs from the heart. I don't really see the point of making music if it's not an expression of self or a form of therapy. You know, it's like if I have a bad day, I want to write a song. I don't want to write a song to have a hit. I want to write a song because I want it to make me feel better. So yeah, it's never been about the audience or pleasing people or trying to fit in. It's just been about myself and my love for music, and I guess that has come across.
So that being the case, why wouldn't you write a song about the most powerful emotion any of us are capable of feeling? Love. So this was the force within that drove Ed to write a song about the love of his life. Perfect was written in 2016 and appeared online in March 2017. It is a simple, old-fashioned romantic ballad written about his then-girlfriend and wife-to-be, Cherry Seaborn. The most vivid lyric in Perfect is barefoot on the grass, listening to our favourite song. And that was something that actually happened, though not in a romantic way, and not with Cherry, but rather fellow singer-songwriter and friend James Blunt. Ed was staying with James at his house in Ibiza for a party, and they found themselves barefoot at 6 AM on the grass, dancing. And right there was the start of a song for a songwriter who would write in a way that was an extension of himself, happy or sad or even in love.
The best thing about having successful albums off your own back is you start to get less and less people giving you an input of what you have to do. Like on my first record, there was a lot of people telling me what they thought I should do and I would listen to them because it's my first record and I'm like, well, I don't know what to do. But now I've got to a point where I've done so many things off my own back that I'm now allowed to do whatever I want to do, which is nice because there's no one telling you what song to put on your album, and I want it all to be expression of self and be as interesting as possible.
The next day he booked into a local studio just to get some ideas down and finalised them when he got back home. After writing it and putting together a demo, he sent it off to Cherry, who was living in New York, so Ed wasn't actually there to see her reaction at the time she heard it electronically. Bet she liked it, though. Ed had wanted to write another song that would go down as well as Thinking Out Loud, and the theme for Perfect was pretty much on the same lines, looking ahead to the future from the point of view of just starting out. Thinking Out Loud had been co-written with folk singer and friend Amy Wadge, and Ed said his motivation was to write a song every bit as good, but this time all him, 100%, so that people would say, well, he can actually do it. The original version sent off to Cherry was an acoustic version. The more sophisticated production we now know as the single was added later, including the orchestral strings. Ed produced the song himself with the help of Will Hicks and his brother Matthew Sheeran. It was the first time the siblings had collaborated on one of Ed's songs. The video was directed by Jason Koenig and featured Zoe Dutch as Ed's love interest, and it was filmed in the small ski village of Hintertux in Austria. The video shows them on a skiing holiday and portrays a particular image from the lyrics of the song, Dancing in the Dark. The barefoot on the grass image was harder to shoot with it being -5 and covered with snow, but the snow angels were a good substitute. And the image of the words, "I wrote a song for you," on the inside of a pizza box ring true with the inspiration for the song. It was Ed's idea to film the video in the snow to give it a Christmas feel, like E17's Stay Another Day, which, though not exactly a Christmas song, is labelled as such because of the snowy video and the fact that it was a hit over the Christmas period. And Perfect did all that, and more. The only thing the video lacked was Ed's love interest. It should have been Cherry Seaborn.
I was cycling to the pub. I had 2 days off. I just shot the Perfect video, which I was skiing in, and I can't ski, so if any time you're going to break your arms, I assumed it was going to be then. I just shot that, and I had 2 days off in between tour, and I went home and stayed at my girlfriend's parents' house, and we both got our bicycles, and we cycled to the pub, and I was going down a hill, and I braked, fell off, like, hit both arms, but then was like, it's my only day off, I'm going to the pub. So, so cycled to the pub, drunk with all my mates, then cycled home, and then in the morning I was just like in so much pain that drove myself to the hospital, and then they were like, you can't drive back. Broke my wrist, this wrist, my elbow, and my rib. I'm a quite clumsy person, so I kind of thought that I was overreacting. I was kind of like, oh, the pain will go, and then it didn't go.
Let's have a look at the charts and see how it did commercially. First, the US got to #1 on the 23rd of December 2017. It took 14 weeks to get to #1, and then it stayed there for 5 weeks. It sold 1.3 million copies in the US. It was the 7th bestseller in the States that year, and the best-selling song of 2018, with, again, 1.3 million records sold, because end-of-year charts have a break-off point just before Christmas, and because this song was a big hit in both years, it was eligible for both end-of-year charts, 2017 and 2018. So total record sales in the States, around 2.6 million copies. It turned platinum at 2 million copies. Also in December 2017, Perfect hit the top in the UK on the 8th of December, and it had already spent 30 weeks on the UK chart when it made #1 because it hit the singles chart back in March of that year. And it spent 6 weeks at the top. And the song that took over was River by Eminem featuring Ed Sheeran. And like the US, it featured in both year-end charts for 2017 and 2018, 6th in 2017 and 3rd in 2018, making it the second bestseller of the decade. And we'll get to that in just a few seconds, but first look at this. The UK singles chart back in March of 2017, and there you go, that's the top 6 places in the chart, all Ed Sheeran songs, all from the album Divide. And the one that went on to be the biggest of the lot was Perfect. And looking at the chart of the 10 bestsellers for the decade in the UK for 2010 to 2019, well, you can't do much better than that, really, can you? Ed Sheeran at #1, 2 and 3, with Perfect at #2. Well, other accolades, other than fantastic record sales, it was #1 in 21 other countries, and it was the most played song on US radio in 2018 with 3.99 billion audience impressions. And when Perfect spent a year on the Billboard charts, Ed became the first solo artist to spend a whole year on the Hot 100 with 3 different songs, the others being Thinking Out Loud and The Shape of You. Not even Elvis or the Beatles did that. The song received nominations for Best Pop Video, Best Direction and Song of the Year at the MTV Music Awards, and there were a couple of standout remixes of Perfect. One was known as the Perfect Duet, featuring Beyoncé, who did it in one take according to Ed, and the other was Perfect Symphony, which featured Andrea Bocelli. Perfect is a romantic song written from a personal point of view, looking out into the future with children and the idea of growing old together, not unlike Thinking Out Loud, another giant of a song, but Perfect seems more real and less imaginary, basically because it is. And that's why it is now the most popular wedding song, Ed's personal favourite, and in a business where artists actively seek a signature song that's often elusive, he's raised the bar. He's got 2. That's Perfect from Ed Sheeran. And that's it for another Talking Music, where every song has a story. There's another video popping up on the screen now for you to enjoy. And please subscribe to Talking Music, where we get behind the music and talk facts, information, secrets and stories about well-known songs. So do click the subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next video. Till then, bye-bye.